one thing that we definitely need to be looking out for is this responsive buyer possibly in the market and looking to see if they're going to step up and try to jump the gun, or if they're just going to let the market cool out today. We do have a very wide point of control, right? 20 TPOs wide, and this increases the odds that it gets revisited. So just consider that, right? Even though we have balanced inventory, this can act as a magnet. It's been the fairest price overnight, very close to that fairest price from yesterday's cash session as well, right? It settles right in between it, and then we had that last trade right above. There's a longer continuation of that short covering at the end of the day yesterday. Consider that, right? Even though we definitely want to be aware of that going into this open here. I'm going to go ahead and post our video, and we'll look at some stock real quick. All right. So take a peek. We can see the dollars trading lower, right? Kind of got that same short covering rally at the end of the day as the market did. Tried to trade up overnight, met some resistance, and is now trading back inside yesterday's range for the most part. The Australian dollar is still looking pretty weak. The euro is actually back above the $1 mark. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. It was really trying to reclaim this $1 level. It was able to get back above that $1 level for a little bit yesterday, traded back below it during Globex, and is now back above it here. So be something to watch today. Bitcoin with the ETH merger going on, we can see is still hanging out around that 20,000. Did a little sell-off yesterday late in the day, kind of opposite the market, right? But then opened up during Globex on a gap higher, closed the gap during Globex. And so we'll be looking at Bitcoin opening up, not on a true gap, but a little CME gap. So look for Bitcoin to maybe sell down a little bit and see if there's some trap sellers willing to short cover. We might catch a little bit of upside on Bitcoin today. Oil continue to trade lower after making that high yesterday. You can see it's kind of been all over the place, a pretty wide bracket, 85 to 90 here. We had that news coming out of the White House. Excuse me, a little congested today. We had that news coming out of the White House that the U.S. was looking at refilling their oil reserves if we get back to the $80 mark. So we'll see a little front running yesterday off of that, but now we're coming back down to test that level again. The Dow leading the charge today, very sideways action the past 2 days. This is kind of that risk off, or the mom and pop stock here, only down about 0.9, so not as much. The ES right now is down about 0.15. The NASDAQ's down about 0.34, so something to watch. Apple basically just trading sideways overnight inside its yesterday's range. AMD's looking the same. Amazon the same as well. Disney actually traded up off of that 0 gamma level that we saw. And so, with tomorrow being a bigger options expiry, we could see a little bit of a bigger move tomorrow. And we've got some news tomorrow as well that may drive the market a little bit. Just reminded that I need to update this script real quick. Google still trading sideways, trading down at the low here. It's getting close to that previous swing low, and now we've got this this previous gap above. Looks like it got filled. I got to update these levels today. Meta still trading low, getting close to a put wall down at the 145, so it's still got some room for some downside. Microsoft looking pretty weak as well. Netflix actually looking stronger than most, right? Netflix and Tesla. Even Apple yesterday actually looked pretty strong before giving up. We got below that zero gamma level yesterday on Netflix, and then a responsive buyer stepped up. They started to cover. And you can see Netflix gonna be opening up on a gap today. I'm not sure if there's some news on Netflix. Let's see. It says positive analyst coverage from Evercore ISI. Jamie, good morning. JB, good morning. So Evercore ISI Group analyst Mark upgraded Netflix from an inline rating to outperform and raised the price target to 300 from 245, citing new revenue opportunities in the company's ad-supported stream tier. So that's like what we were talking about earlier this week. um, that they're gonna do like a cheaper version of Netflix with ads. So that's kind of carrying them up. Um, let's go ahead and look at the 10-year, so we can see TNX. The 10-year yield here is getting puked overnight or in the pre-market today, back down into the lows of yesterday's session. And Tesla, after looking pretty strong yesterday, gave up right late in the day with the market, got a nice short covering rally, and is pretty much trading in that upper distribution from yesterday. And the VIX is still trading lower, still elevated, right? 26 is nothing to shy about, or nothing to laugh about, but has been trading with lower lows the past 2 days in a row. Adam, good morning. Cam, good morning. No counts before the open, my uncle says. Roach, good morning. Andy Carlson, good morning. So let me tell you guys about something that happened this morning that is just, it was miserable. Make a coffee, right? Put the cream in. I don't put sugar in the coffee, but put the little cream in, stir it up. Took a sip, walked downstairs, got on the computer, set the coffee on my desk, started doing the trade view, helping the kids get ready for school, come back to go grab my coffee, fucking fly in there. One sip out of the coffee and coffee's ruined. So that's how the day started. So not great. Bitcoin Brad, you're lucky today. Our team gives a promo code of 10 viewers for a whole day. Come visit us, get Viewers Pro, and we'll take you to the top of Olympus on Twitch. We'll provide you with viewers on subscribers and blah, blah, blah. Pass. Don't flies have good protein? I'm not sure. I should have just drank it, huh? And a key thing to note here still too, like so even though today or yesterday didn't seem like a really kind of crazy day, when we look at the ES here, um, you know, oh, this is including the overnight session. We're one time framing lower here, right? So here's 1, 2, 3. We did make a lower low, and that's kind of why I'm thinking that yesterday's low, this spike low, is going to be kind of the most important part. If the market's able to hold above it, there's going to be opportunity. I'd like to see us establish up here, up above, up above the open in the last. That would be ideal to start testing into some of these single prints, but it will be a key as today's value develops. I think developing value will really be the key today, and today will kind of be one of those days where we just hang back and be patient, let the market come to us, especially with with just so much going on, right? There's also the ETH merge today. You know, I'm not really seeing a ton of movement from ETH. It's opening on a gap up here. Uh, so with these ETH futures here, we can see they got that big pop overnight, but they're pretty much just trading back inside yesterday's range. So in order to get some more confidence, I think in ETH, we want to see it get above that 1600 and stay above that 1600. How about that? Peter Resnicek agrees that this is going to be an important level. Crypto Mojo, good morning. Lecker, good morning. 1608 is level you want to stay above on ETH cam. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty key level. Um, in order to get some people excited about it again, right? Oh yeah. Shout out to my dad. He got he passed his account today, so he's on his PA now.
Congrats, Link.
Congrats.
Crazy what taking advice does for you.
Oh, wow. Damn. Thank you guys. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Dad.
Yeah. And I did really well overnight. I sent you a pic.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah. Did you
All
get a
right.
chance to talk to that guy about the car yesterday when he came back or no?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he kind of, I think maybe he was just talking to talk because
No.
I don't see, I mean, he does probably want to get rid of the car because he just bought an electric car, but he's looking to buy another car before he decides to get rid of this car
Oh,
so that he has a car that has distance. So
yeah.
it's definitely something that he sounds like he wants to do, but I don't know how fast. But he has our number.
Okay.
All right, I'll talk to you guys when I get to work.
Okay. See you then.
All right, bye.
Pretty decent sized trade just hit the tape. 127 lots at the 56 quarter. Remember our 39.55 was a key level yesterday. I have it written down right here, 39.55, that we were watching. So it's kind of interesting that M period extended the session down and brought, because if you remember when D period popped up, our halfback moved up to like 58. M period extended it down and brought it back down to 55. So you can really kind of see that tug of war yesterday, right? We had early on that 55 as the half back, and then D period kind of tried to pull it up, and then the market basically just ran out of steam, liquidated, traded sideways for a second before peaking back below yesterday's low, and then M period extended it back down. And so it's like if you're on this this tug of war, and you have like, the little handkerchief tied right here, they kind of pulled it this way, and then sellers pulled it back and basically finished right where it started. So kind of interesting yesterday. They're going for that low right off the bat. Dan, what's up? Torn between playing Tesla or Spy today? I don't know. Tesla looks strong, but it's back above that 300, but it doesn't. I don't know. It looks like, to me, what Tesla looks like is just giant short covering. People got a little bit too short too early, and I kind of think Tesla's going to come back below that 300 today. Yeah, the lows were, yeah, but what I think is, I think after this, you had sellers try to get short, and then yesterday's action was, I think, just short covering on Tesla. Morning, Trent. Oh, and just an update, like I was telling you guys, I'm basically getting forced to move over to that prop trading, um, and at least my interpretation of the conversation that I had with the guy, morning Tommy, is basically saying that I'll be under pro status if I do that, or professional data if I do that. And so I have a email out to their team to see if what's the deal with what's the deal with being able to lead the stream like that, right? Like if there's any liability or anything like that. And so when he gets back to me, I'll let you guys know what he says. But if there is any liability, I have the opportunity to just kind of cash out, and that's what I'll end up doing is I'll just end up cashing out. Because if I have to stop the stream, I really don't want to do it. Just a heads up. Any questions before the market opens? We didn't really get much action here before or overnight. We're still inside yesterday's range, opening up inside balance. Typically tends to mean that the market's going to be choppy early on, and going to be a need for increased patience coming into the market. Yeah, I mean, so the way that I'm looking at it, and I was talking to James about this yesterday too, TJ, is like, if I really want to stay doing the funded accounts, the only thing is like I have 8 funded accounts. So they're gonna have to. The only way that I would do it is one is if I can continue the stream. If I can't continue the stream, that's gonna take it off the table right off the bat. But if the only way that I would do it is if they combine all the accounts and then basically just give me like, you know, um, what would it be like, 3 times 8, like 22.4 um of to play with in one account, because that's basically how I interpreted it, that they combine all your accounts and put you on one account. So if I get 2.4 to play with, then that could be worth it, because then I could take some pretty sizable trades. But if it's not like that and they just move you over to one and it's like, it just, there's a lot of a lot of variables, I guess. And then also, James trades on a different funded account. I can't remember what it's called. Um, I'll ask him. I can't remember. It's like Jared in here. Jared knows what it's called. Um, no. Some different. I mean, it's like the same exact thing, just a different company, right? They're pretty much all exactly the same. Yeah, it's not Top Step. No, I would never do Top Step. I fucking hate their bullshit rules. Um, like FTMO or something like that. I think it is FTMO. TMO. No, maybe. I don't know. I'll ask him. Um, I'll ask him. But I could always just switch to that and just do the same thing through here. The thing is, I'd have to take a withdrawal break from the funded accounts. But I still have my regular account anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. What's my thoughts on the new this morning? What news? With ETH? Spy looks real good up
There
there.
was unemployment numbers today too, this morning.
Oh yeah. I didn't really even look. I was taking the kids to school. I don't think they really factored in that much. I don't think they were that important. I think really the important news is going to be coming out tomorrow. It looks like retail sales month over month was up a little bit. Philly Fed. Initial jobless claims were less. They were green. So yeah, I mean, kind of unchanged. Not really any big deal. Tomorrow, we have what's it called? Quad witching, right? So there's gonna be like a bunch of options expiry tomorrow, and I think that could be the big catalyst that people are kind of waiting for. Go ahead and get some Reveille going, get this day rolling. All right, we're pumped. We're ready. It's game time. We've got about 4 minutes until the market opens. Actually, about 3 minutes. Now's the time to do what you need to do. Relax, take a deep breath, get some meditation rolling, and get ready.
Did anyone see if all those Ethereum miners jumped onto some other project real fast? Because you got to think there's a lot of computing power that's got nowhere to go now.
Right. All stars, what's up, man? Oh, they jumped to ETC, Thomas said. To the classic, huh? Oh, and Raven coin. Morning, Thomas. About 45 seconds until we get this this open. Tesla's trying to sell off here back below its close from yesterday. All right, here's the bell. Oops, no. So below the Globex low right away, and we re-enter it. Getting call counts in AMD, my uncle says. Take a look at the breadth. The breadth is pretty negative here opening up. Even, you know, we got that late sell-off here in Globex, negative breadth here. Weighted AD is a little bit negative. Tesla's catching a little bit of upside off of the open, and we get a tick that opens up below negative 1,000 here. And so here's a key. Remember, we talked about this the other day. We get a breadth that's negative 1,000. We have, or a tick that's negative 1,000. We have a negative breadth. Most of the sectors besides healthcare are red, and even healthcare is just barely green and consumer discretionary. And as tempting as it is to be like, oh, this thing's going to correct overnight inventory, we talked about this, right? We talked about, you know, it's a safer play to let the tick get above zero to show you that there's actually buyers in the market, right? Because what does a positive tick that's below 1,000 show off the open? Not really much, right? It's just showing us that we're opening lower. The breadth is opening lower. We're starting to see a little bit more green. This tells you exercise caution, right? If the tick can get above zero and start to hold, well, then that lets you know that there's opportunity for this upside. But until then, in reality, you know, unless you're looking to short here, you really just want to stay out of it and let this thing kind of work itself out after opening up a little bit lower. Decide if a lot of these shorts are going to cover or if they're going to keep pushing on the low ticks there. Tesla's coming back down. Like I said, I think Tesla's going to go back below this 300 level. I think they want to. Apple came like right up to its close from yesterday and wasn't able to hold. I think Netflix is killing it here. They're up 4%. If Netflix starts to give up, then maybe the rest of the market will follow. But Netflix is really propping the market up here. Starting to see the breath cool off a little bit. Starting to see the tick get a little bit of oomph. But like I said, there's not really, not really any early trade here. Not for me at least. It's better to be patient, I think. Apple coming back down to its open here. Crypto mining just go really bad for GPUs. The 3060 Ti can profit 0.02 to 25 cents a day after power. Damn. Look at Apple. Apple's really pushing the lows here, guys. Breath is starting to pick back up. Look at the tick. Failing off that 600. A 10% power cost. A little bit of volume coming in up here above the open. I mean, we're seeing a two-sided trade for the most part, right? This thing came down to the low, nobody traded, popped back up. Nobody traded, it came back down. Nobody traded, it popped back up. And now we're seeing that second retest of the high here. 22 contracts on that high tick, and you see that response back down to the center, right? So very, very choppy market this morning. You know, a really two-sided trade. Short-term mechanical traders really trying to decide where the trade's going to be at today. Could look into that. Just bought a 3090 GPU. Oh shit. Hell yeah, nice. That's why you've been playing Fortnite so much, getting those frames, huh, Cam? Call puts are 2022. Uh, I seen you on the Discord like shows you if you're like online or whatever, and it said like Cam playing Fortnite. Like my man. So here we go, pushing a little bit lower here. Look for yesterday's low here. This is kind of the target here on this move to the lower side. HKD, remember this one? Tag 52 and dropped. Yep. And this is the thing, guys. Like, and this is, I mean, not what I always say, but like something I talked about recently is, you know, these are key indications. There's a reason why we have these on the screen, right? And I know you're like, oh yeah, this is a good spot to buy, but like if nothing else, so here's one data point, two data points, three data points, four data points, five data points, right? Apple's the biggest one, and the market's going lower, you know, we don't need to necessarily be heroes, right? We want to stay with the market. And that, I mean, that was a quick little trade, right? Quick little scalp. I shorted the 46 quarter and then the 47, closed them both on the 43.50, right? Just a quick little 3-point trade on the break of the open, not looking for anything crazy, but going with what the market is trying to tell us to do. 17 to 5, you're seeing some call counts come in now that we're getting down here at these lows. This is where, expect to see responsive buyers. If we get a weighted AD flip, and you can see the breath is really cooling off here. If we get a weighted AD flip and this tick can get above 0, then we could possibly be in business for maybe an upside trade. But with this tick, remember the tick is the fastest indicator, right? It's responding to every tick in the market. Tick, 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 tick. So if it can't even get above 0, that just shows you that buyers are weak, right? If it gets above 0, then at least we can at least have the opportunity to take a two-sided trade. Adam said any crypto mining questions, always hit him up on Discord. Sherm is his Discord alias. The bot's not in a trade at all. Right to half back from yesterday, so very mechanical A high here. You can see a little bit of shorts got trapped here. They tried to reshort that same spot again. And they got kind of stuck. Not really, not really a much up, but that was probably a zero risk trade, right? They reshorted on that, put their stop right above, and then it got ran. Mechanical sellers still able to hold that level, so tells you who's in control today, right? Shorter time frame traders are in control of the market. Excuse me. And in the case of shorter time frame traders in control of the market, we know that most likely there isn't going to be much range extension. We're still inside yesterday's range. We did a little check below value, and we're looking back into the value to see if we're going to get acceptance or rejection here. The Disney CEO's on CNBC right now. Oil futures are down. This thing says 5%, but my chart says 3%. Oh, U.S. heating oil down by 5%. My bad. Oil's down $2 a barrel. Look how thin the volume is. Breath is flipped to green here. You've seen the weighted AD kind of flip over. Apple's trying to make a change. If we pull over the weighted sectors real quick, sorry to block the profile. The tech just popped above its open. Healthcare was the one that looked strong. Consumer discretionary, financials, communications, industrials even trying to make a go. Staples really puking. Energy's puking, and utilities puking as well. But the VIX is also puking here too. So a little bit of a pop, drop, and lock, and then a pop. Really choppy, really two-sided trading today. Oh, that's our order. Is it LKD? Oh, it's HKD. That's what it is. HKD is back on the tear. If you guys remember this one from a couple weeks ago, it well, you can kind of, let's just look at the daily. It had kind of this move from $12 up to 2,055. This is back August 1st, and then it came all the way back down to earth. But today again, moving up here already 600%. Tesla didn't get back below that 300, so maybe these buyers are stepping up here. Right here at the VWAP, the 24-hour VWAP sitting at 3957.75. Volume's coming up here, so we saw a lot of volume come in here, little squeeze here, and then volume coming in, kind of weak volume on the top. But we're seeing kind of our first development of this half pipe, and this half pipe's really thin here. No plays for the bot today, no counts in AMD since the open. Overall counts are 36 and 30. Apple's coming back down here. Notice the tick still kind of failing to reclaim that 0 level. Looks like it wants it though. Keeps on going. Look at the tick getting back above that 0 now. So here's what we, and then look, there's a squeeze right there. There's the squeeze. Okay, so this is what we want to look for next. I don't know if we'll get a chance here, but with that tick getting back above 0, breath is kicking on, weighted AD's ticking up, everything's flipped back to green. We get a test of this weak level, buyers step up, do a little bit of backfilling, target that Globex point of control and that last. Even the settle might be a little bit of selling. You can see that's where that VPOC is at. So really the opportunity is to try to get filled as close to half back as you can. That's where the volume stepped up so far. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get an opportunity. Times it runs without you. Anybody get in on there?
Yeah, I caught about 8 points on that and closed at the settle.
Fuck yeah, nice.
And that's honestly, that was a big, like I took some heat on that, but I was like, I just didn't want to, that was a nice moment for me to be patient and not freak out and cut it.
Good shit.
So with
Tommy
my
got it?
psychology.
Good, yeah. I'm jealous. I just sat here and watched it and didn't act.
Yeah, now you know how I feel 95% of the time.
Morning,
I
Patrick.
got 159.
Nice. Traded right to that Globex point of control, so I still think that's a mechanical high. $141 lots just trade on the 65 on the ask. Right on the settle, so seller's trying to push it back down here towards that settle. $500 lots just stepped up on that 65 too. A pretty big buy order sitting right there. Let's see if it's going to hold. A bunch of them ran away right there, and then a lot of them traded. Hell yeah, good stuff, Roach. Jamie caught a couple points. Everyone caught it except me. Goddamn. Good shit, guys. That's awesome. I was so fixated on being patient, I just get too patient today. Good stuff. That's awesome. Morning, Adam. A lot of trading on this 68. 1,300 lots on the bid. You're still seeing, you know, it still looks like bids are trying to step up here, to be honest. They want that last trade. So some key levels, if you're still running that long, right? Look for this Globex high. A break of that Globex high could really unleash some shorts. We should get some short covering from there. And then of course yesterday's high and back into these single prints would be their target if they're able to take that Globex high. You've got some pretty decent spots to move your shorts or your stops up to, right? You could be running your stop a little bit looser here, or running your stop a little bit tighter up here in this weak spot. That 68's a big level, so if it comes below that 68 level, it might puke a little bit. They ran the stops WUTS in the overnight. Oh, also before I forget, I won't be on stream tomorrow. I'm gonna be playing in a golf tournament tomorrow. I thought it was Saturday, but I got a message yesterday saying that it's tomorrow, and I already, I was already committed to it, so I can't really, well, I could, I guess, but I don't really want to kind of back out. I just thought it was Saturday, which is unfortunate. But I'll definitely have my eye on the market, so, jump into the live TPO room or the Lincoln logs, and I'll have some time to jump in there, I'm sure, while I'm golfing. So notice that right there. We got a little peak below the 68 right there, and it popped right back up. So if this thing comes back down below the 68 again, pay attention to see the reaction, right? If there's another reaction just like this, that's telling us that these buyers are backfilling this area. Apple's looking like it wants to get back above its open. Dan, did you end up taking those Tesla? Did you play Tesla or the SPY today? That 11 contracts on the high is kind of disheartening. There's a tap of the 68, a little pop of 1.1 points. So sellers are still trying to offer this here, but buyers look to be trying to hold because they don't look very strong this time on the second test. Watch the 64.75 here. Jumped on an NQ future short. Nice. One back. That zero gamma levels on the Qs is at 300. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean we didn't break that overnight point of or the overnight high yet either. I still think, and if you look here where buyers kind of started shutting off, it's relatively the same spot, and we're not able to get up there, not yet at least, right? And the key today, I think, is if we start to develop value, up here in this area, that's going to increase the odds that we test into some of these single prints and see, where these weak shorts are at. Remember, we talked about big money doesn't necessarily, um, you know, try to kill the market, and so like, um, in a situation like 2 days ago when we saw the market just basically go down 5%, I mean that's a pretty extreme move, and that just shows you kind of the fear in that. So that kind of gives us a little bit of a insight look into the people that are in the market in that short position still. Like maybe, you know, leveraged money, most likely weak leveraged money that isn't going to hold forever. You know what I mean? There's not um like if we look at this, right, and we would assume big money or smart money, they're locked in up here, right? And then the crush of the market is mostly due to retail traders. And so, you know, I would say even up to this gap here, that's where I would expect some more possible responsive, bigger responsive selling. But other than that, I think we're just seeing really shorter time frame traders slowly get get squeezed again. Then you start playing longer contracts. I've noticed beginning of the week always start off playing the end of week contracts. Yeah, yeah, it's nice to get some time. I always like to get at least 30 days on my contracts. Let's see what B period's got for us here. B period takes that A high. Yeah, lots of stops in that overnight high. Yeah. Yeah, if we get over that overnight high, there should be a pretty decent reaction. NQ took you out break even. Yeah, no reason to try to fight it yet. We're above that last. Let's see, like we were talking about, they need to get over this level. This was kind of the level where buyers just kind of ran out of steam yesterday. B high right at the overnight high. It looks like longs are profit taking here. Careful. See if we keep getting some more steam. Oh, you already passed your first step of funding. Yeah, so you gotta wait the time out. Yeah, makes sense. So there's the break. Everything's looking green here. Even the weighted AD is pretty strong here. Getting some volume here. I don't know. I don't. Big buyer hitting the tape 74, 100 lots. Apple getting rejected off that high pretty decently here. I'm flat completely. I'll be right back, guys. What happened? Every time I walk away from the market, I swear it just fucking sells off. Apple got crushed there. The volume moves up here. There is a lot of single prints below. But I mean, it does show a little bit of weakness that they weren't able to buy these stops yet. And now we're getting some volume here, so buyers are backfilling a little bit, and we got that opportunity finally to fill as close to that settle as we could. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what's so tough is you've got Tesla looking like a raging bull. You've got Netflix kind of looking like a raging bull. Apple's just getting crushed. But I mean, Amazon's green. Google's basically flat. Meta's green, big time, right up a percentage and a half. Nvidia had a nice move up, kind of just chilling out now too. And the VIX is still, just one time framing lower. So really confusing or kind of mixed look today. So failure to hold above this volume, right? We're getting a lot of volume up here. Failure to hold above the volume, you're going to start putting these weak spots back into line. This 64-ish, 63-ish. Back here, this 60. Got today's halfback 59, which is a really weak spot. That's where you could probably look to see some buyers as long as, uh, you know, supporting indicators agree. Your psychology is in shambles. What's going on, Dan? Talk to us. What's causing that? 15 and 39. Well, think about it, Dan. I mean, you've been going pretty hard lately, right? And so eventually that's going to happen, right? And you've been doing really well. And so, and I can definitely relate to this, especially when you were on kind of a hot streak, right? You were nailing pretty much everything to the wall, and then all of a sudden, an earthquake came and started shaking pictures, right? And shit started falling, and you're like, well, what the fuck? These command strips aren't supposed to just fall off the wall like this. And so, it's a common thing. And I think what you're doing, taking a step back, slowing down, maybe sizing down, or maybe even taking a couple of days off, right? That can definitely help. The worst thing you can do, I think, is to just try to get it all back, right? 10K it's a pretty significant amount, but there's no point. Fuck that earthquake. Um, but there's no point to try to make it back in a day, right? And it's such a common thing that you see um with trading is people have a loss, a sizable loss, and they're like, I need it back today. I need to be back exactly where I was at. Well, you didn't get where you were at in a day, and so trying to make it back in a day is just unrealistic and can be that's what can cause those capitulation moments where you know your trading account gets completely drained because you're starting to force things instead of going back to your bread and butter. So I think what you're doing is correct, and then go back to your journal and look at your journal and see, okay, so what was I doing before that was working correctly, and and what's going on, right? Plan your next trade. Yeah, Roach, perfect. Like plan your next trade and trade the next trade. You'll make profit and lose like 60% of it. So you're looking for bigger moves. Yeah, you just gotta, I mean, make that plan and stick to that plan. That's I mean, that's how trading goes, right? Trading is, it has ups and downs. It's never just a straight mountain climb. Yeah. Oh fuck, I feel that for sure. Yeah, early sometimes is worse than not trading at all. Yeah, I've like I have that um like melted into my brain that if I start to have an idea, like even like yesterday I thought we were going to go up, right? And we did go up a little bit, finished right above the open. It was pretty much a back and forth. Um but I've convinced myself or like burned into my brain that you are early, right? Your thoughts come early, so you need to trade like they come early, which means I need to be more patient than patient, right? Like you know, even today that nice long that pretty much everybody snagged that I missed is because I've had my brain set to remind myself like, hey, a lot of times these trades that you get in, you're just a little bit early, and if you can just be a little bit more patient, you would kill the market. And you know, um, this week I had I mean Monday was just fucking fantastic, right? Um, and then Tuesday as well. But I have this burn in my brain that patience, patience, patience. So yeah, I mean, just make your next plan, trade the next plan, and that's all you can do. You even said that. Yeah, you said 397 calls, yeah, and then you played Nvidia. And I mean, it went right there. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong, Dan. If your conviction is low, just don't trade. Remember, we don't always have to be in a trade. I've taken one trade today. That's it. If it was a straight mountain climb, that would be steep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That is always nice when you get to trade somebody else's money. So notice the breadth here. We're almost getting a full flip. We were about -2 on the open. Now we're +2. little push down and then a push up. We're still seeing some extension here. Tick is solidly above zero. We've got three closes above zero now. Apple's starting to tick up. We already know Tesla, Netflix really good. Meta also good. Amazon even as well, looking pretty strong. Right, one time framing up, and it's getting above that put wall at 130, looking to get up into to the high of the gap. Yeah, yeah, I think so, Thomas. I was thinking that exact same thing. That I think that I mean it's not a traditional P because the close was here, but before we got that late day move, it did look like a lot of shorts were starting to close out during Globex. Buyers need to push above this 74 half here to convince us that they won't actually take the market higher. Netflix slowing here a little bit. Tesla doesn't care. Nvidia's kind of starting to slow. Meta's even kind of trying to pull back here. Amazon finding a little poor high-ish look here. On a 15-minute, remember this is a 15-minute here. Yeah, TJ. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think a lot of momentum shorts piled in yesterday at the low, right? You could see where all the volume came in right at that previous day's low, gave that push down, no follow through, and I mean, when I watched it on replay, it was violent and fast. So I agree with you. Yeah, that could work, Dan. Nothing wrong with that either. I want to try this short right here. I think if we break that 64, it's going to start puking down a little bit lower here. Damn, you had 310 calls. You're calling that in the room yesterday? Shorted the break below 42.5, then once over 42.5 again, targeted the L high. Nice. Hey, you guys are fucking on it. Come on. Get a little Pukarooski down to that 60. Here we go. Give it up. Look at the tick. Tick's really coming down here. Amazon's breaking its previous low from the 15-minute. Apple looks like a bag of shit. That'll come with time, TJ, really. And I know I fucking say that all the time, and it's probably just the most annoying thing to hear, but I mean, really, it really will. Nice. Go. Don't beat yourself up, Dan. That's not going to help at all. I mean, you can only, move on to the next trade. Fucking, this was the king of shorts here. So guys, this is, and then we'll see this buying off this 55. It's kind of weak, but it's mechanical too. But we kind of like almost assumed this, right? We drew the line and said like, okay, this is where the buyers need to get above to convince us that they're going to go higher. They kept just, what do they call, what's that? This is a roach term, right? Pussyfooting, right? You know about that. That's old school. But they kept pussyfooting around up here and then got below the volume and then started to puke, right? Right below that settle. And then there's nobody catching here, right? Maybe a little bit of backfilling going on now. We do see some good buyers here. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, and it's like, a nice rotational trade. Yeah, exactly. So exactly like I'm saying, Dan. Trading, you're never just going to see that account go straight up. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go left. Well, it's going to go right, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. That's just how it goes, just like a chart, right? And so you're up for the year, or up since you've started trading options, and up a pretty good amount, right? And that's nothing to, nothing to scoff at, right? You're doing well. What's this B low? I'm not sold on the B low. There's a huge railroad strike going on right now too. I don't know if you guys have heard or seen in the news. That's not, necessarily a lot of people are not necessarily in love with it.
I thought they came out this morning and said it was that they made an agreement.
Oh, maybe I haven't. I only checked before, like probably at like 6 o'clock this morning when I was reading. But that's. Let me look. Before I give you guys the fucking.
Yeah, it's on the
CNN.
front page of CNN.
Oh well, I can't believe that.
All right, I'll check the Washington Post. There it is.
Okay, so they made a deal.
Yeah, they made a deal.
Okay.
It was actually them locking them out.
That could be detrimental to, our consumer-driven society.
Oh, it could have been really bad. They were talking about how they would have needed like 4,000 more trucks a day to cover the transportation needs for the country.
Well, let me tell you guys what's, one of the easiest things to grow and pretty much will just grow all the time is potatoes. Right? That's my favorite food. Right? Not because my wife's Irish, racist, but because you can just make it so many different ways, right? You can even make potatoes into pasta. So I'm just saying, if you got some extra space in your area, you know, grow some potatoes and grow some rice, you know. Jason, what's up, man? Watch this be low, mechanical be low. They'll be targeting that 51, and look to see the response there. If we get a response that pops us back up above half back, you're seeing more mechanical buyers buying off that half back. Did break it already. I've only got one lot left. I just closed my second one right there on 56 quarter. Of course. Okay, so if it comes down here to this spot and doesn't get a bounce up over half back, we're good to just hold the short and we'll target the open. If it does get a bounce and it starts to get close to that half back, we might want to just call it a day. I guess you wouldn't need any profits. Look at Apple's just puking. So it's coming right here down to this spot, which is what we're expecting. Up to 50. This thing wrong. So no response there, right? None. Now be careful here with this volume. Now we can move our stop basically down to 52. Let's say 52 half. Keep running this bad boy. Well, all of those funded trader accounts are mostly set up to get you to over leverage. That's why they give you access to so many contracts, right? Like the $300,000 account on Apex gives you a $7,500 drawdown, but you can trade 35 contracts. You know, it's crazy. Like I say, like in real life, if you're trading a real account, like your real account, and your account has $7,500 in it, you shouldn't be even trading more than one contract, max two. But you know, by doing 35 contracts, you're almost keen to blow, especially because it's a trailing drawdown. It's not a $7,500 loss total. Yeah, single mini at a time. Yeah. You added at the VWAP. Are you in a long or short? All right, so we've got the open. Here comes C period. Let's see what we're gonna get here. I'm gonna move my stop down. I really don't want to move it down. I want to kind of let this thing play and see if we're gonna keep getting continuation. I'll do 49. Stops on 49.50. I swear to God. Oh my God. Oh, oh well. I'm flat now. Okay. I'm not saying it into the mic anymore.
I
swear
hate
to
that
God.
stuff.
I swear, it's like as soon as I said it out loud, someone's like, "Oh, I got you, bitch," and I was up at punch price right above this weak spot. That's how it feels. I know that's not how it is, but that's how it feels sometimes. I swear.
Yeah, that's what makes it so hard. That's why I hate. I don't know. I hate it because it's like now where's a good spot to even get back in? Now I got to wait so much longer for a trade to set up instead of just riding the runner. That was the battle I was having the other day. Heck,
For I get my fee is I actually it depends if on the apex it's a little bit more, but with stage 5 I negotiated some pretty low margins. It's like 44.60 something, because it's there's like, you know, there's change in there, but it's basically $5, Thomas. So like I make 1 point, you make $50, and you minus 5. I traded, let's see, 5 contracts. Yeah, 5 contracts. I got short 76, added 2 on 69, added on 66, added on 64, closed 2 on 61, closed 2 on 55, and then that last one was on 49.50.
Very nice. Very nice. Where'd you say you started from?
The first short was from 76. It's hidden behind this fucking symbol. Hang on. 76. Looks like 76 quarter. Yeah, 76 quarter.
Oh, dang. You've been short for a minute.
Yeah, I started getting short, yeah. And then I mean, right when I drew that line.
That's when you walked away, ain't it? You got in, you're like, I'm gonna walk away, let it play out for a second. Yep. I'm learning.
Right when I drew that line, and I was like, it's not gonna get back above here, like, or it has to get back above here to convince us that buyers want this thing. That's when I was like I was selling myself basically. And look,
I
these
need to start doing
motherfuckers
that.
ran right to my spot too, and fucking, I had my stop at 52.50 as well, and it's like, bitches. Turp Tone, what's up, man? Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm 34. I'm like Shaq on the comeback when he switched from 32 to 34 when he went to the Lakers. Total, um, total, I'm up 35 points, 35.5 points for the day so far. Seems like that's wrong. Yeah. Is like not. Let me open it. $72 points. I don't know why my Dom is not telling me the truth here. Does that happen to you guys on CO charts?
Man, my Dom jacked up on me earlier. I was up like 10 points, and then I added another lot in, and the order was still showing on my Dom because I clicked buy bid. So I'm like, oh man, it ran away. I didn't get in. So then the price came below. I canceled it. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to get in now. And then it came back below that price. And then when it came back below like a point or two, I was like, all right, let me go ahead and get out. I hit flatten. And I looked at my stuff, and it had filled that order, but didn't show on my Dom. So I didn't know. So I took like -3 points on that spot. I'm like, what the heck? Because I would have traded it differently if I knew it got in, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's annoying as fuck. Maybe I'll close it out and reopen it. Good. Yeah, no problem, Thomas. Let's LFG. Yeah, never revenge trade. Yeah, that's definitely a big thing, Steve. If you revenge trade, typically it just leads to disaster. A big boy trader. Yeah, you got to pay for data on Apex. It's cheap though. It's like part of their subscription, and then if you want level 2, you just pay like an extra $10 a month or whatever to get the level 2 data. I didn't play the bounce, Jason. No. I was fucking around trying to figure out where my DOM was all fucked up. Oh, my father-in-law's on a biking rally this week, and he has this nice ass fucking GMC truck, Denali. Fucking and he's letting me borrow it while he's gone, dude. It's so fucking nice. I'm like, damn. I feel like I need one of these now. Steve, I think they made a deal. That's what Peter was talking about. I think that the Rails made a deal. Nice, Dan. I don't know if they can deny you for that. There's a seminar today that's going to be put on by Axia Futures at 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And I've heard, I mean, my research through them is actually pretty decent. I'll post the link if you guys want to sign up. I was going to check it out just to see, because I've heard that they trade the profile, and it's always, you know, like I always say, I think it's possible to learn from everybody, and not a bad idea to check it out, especially if you've got some time this afternoon. There's the link for it right there. If I'm home, well, I'm gonna be on the road actually because at 2 p.m. I gotta go pick up my son from school, but I'll just listen to it on my phone. But it'd be interesting to see, especially because they're in London. So if they trade the U.S. session, you know, they probably trade the London session too. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I just came across them on YouTube. You know, and I'm a sucker for an English accent, so. Bitcoin's getting smacked? Oh yeah. Well, they closed that gap. That's what they were kind of looking for, and as soon as they did close that gap, they just got smacked. What's ETH doing? ETH's getting a fucking smack all the way down to 15, so it wasn't able to get that 1600 level we were looking for, and they're getting a smackarooski here. The overall market's not reacting too much. But look at, I mean, we're seeing a little push below zero and a push above here. So really mixed look today. Makes me want to do nothing. Yeah, turns out that 49.50 was better for me anyways. Like that old saying, what's supposed to happen will happen.
Crazy. Went from the bottom to the top, back to the bottom.
Yeah.
Just bounce.
Andy said, caught the bounce and now use Brad's strategy and walk away to get a coffee. Just be careful when you come back to your coffee, there's not a fucking fly in it. What happened to my coffee this morning? I was pissed. I took like one sip out of it, started doing the trade view, and then started helping the kids get ready for school, and then picked up my coffee. And as I'm looking inside of it, it's just fucking a fly just drowning inside there.
Bro, I need one of those smart coffee cups that like keeps your coffee warm. Because like by the time I go back to take my next sip, this thing's already cold because I've been staring at the charts.
That's how I like my coffee though. Like I don't really like that boiling hot coffee. I like my coffee like room temperature. I'm not really a sipper of coffee. I'm like a drinker of coffee. You know, like
Just like coffee shots.
like yeah, exactly. Like I want to get the caffeine inside like fast. That's why I like that in California we had this place that would fill this growler for only $25 of this nitro cold brew. And so it was just like pure coffee, and you just drink. You didn't even need cream because it was just good, and it would just you'd pour it right out of the fridge and you'd be able to drink it. It was so good. I'm sure there's a place around here like that, even though everyone just fucking loves Dunkin' Donuts here. I love Dunkin' Donuts too on the East Coast.
How do you feel about that 39 level, or I guess 38 half? Like I feel like that should be a pretty big level for it today.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if the market is not able to get below it, or if it's not able to build some value below it, then I think these shorts are going to get continue to get nervous. Um, if they are though, there's some levels below that that have some opportunity. We've got that previous balance low 39.20. But if they're not able to start establishing below that, and really we would want to see them break that prior day low, it just makes sense to me that we continue to the upside. Um, really today we're in a very rotational market, really similar to yesterday, but we're still inside yesterday's range. So that will give us our first clue to what the market wants to do, or kind of who's in the market, right? Typically, any range extension on either side is an indication that an other time frame seller has entered the market, a larger time frame trader has entered the market. And so it does make sense to just kind of balance, especially until tomorrow. The 3900 level is, I think is a huge level when it comes to market dealers. I think that a lot of them are short 3900 puts, so they're long basically from this 3900 level, and they don't want to see it get below this 3900 level because they'll have to start passing out some cash. But also there is a lot of puts that people have had in the market that were basically dead because of this run up. We had these two P profiles and these two gap up days in a row, and so people that had been getting short, their puts were basically worthless, and then you had this huge move, brought volatility back in the market and brought these puts kind of back to life. And so dealers right now are trying to figure out the best way they can to not pay out, right? 'Cause that's kind of their whole goal, is they sell an option And typically, I think it's like 80% of options expire worthless when they're held till expiry, which is why smart money sells options and doesn't buy them. It's different for day trading and stuff like that, but this is what dealers do. They're typically sellers of options, and so they're trying to figure out how to get the market to kill this options premium. And one of the ways would just be to sit here and balance lower, even though I think that they want this market above 4,000. Even though they're long from the 3,900, I think if they can get above 4,000, they'll get rid of all of that risk. I think a balance, the 2-day balance down here at the lows will probably start killing some options premium with theta, that time expiry, and then if they can run some shorts up to the top and get out that 4,000, they can actually finish out on the top side. Because right now I think that they're probably a little bit underwater. But I mean, long story short, I do think that at this level, if we start to build value below that level, that this thing could take a peek at that 3,900, and you see momentum traders try to pile back in.
Man, I was just looking at my zoomed out chart I have on the bottom of my screen, and if you compare the last 3 days profiles zoomed out to the 3 days before the huge run up, it looks almost the exact same. Like the September 2nd, September 6th, September 8th. They got the long wick, the peak below, and then the next day couldn't break the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like crazy how similar it looks, and it's like almost balancing at the bottom right above that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and get a look like this, like into the 7th and the 8th, get a little squeeze up to the high.
Yeah, just interesting. I got that same guy in there sitting at the chair.
Yep. Yeah. Playing the same play. He's like, "Yeah, it worked last time. Let's try it again."
Yeah, he's like, gotcha, flush.
Yeah. That's what they did at the 4,000 level on that big day. They're at this 4,000 level. They trapped all this inventory here and then flushed them down.
Yeah, I was so mad at myself that day. I knew everybody was long in that level. I was like, when this breaks, typically whenever the singles, because I can see the singles developing on the 1 minute. I'm like, normally these singles always hold. So I was short, like right under that. And man, that thing ended up running so far and I missed all of it.
Now, next time you'll be ready though. You'll be like, "Oh, I've seen this play
Yep.
before."
Yeah, just add it to the playbook.
Yep. All right,
I was
Adam. We'll
watching
catch
a
you later,
YouTube
man.
video
Go ahead.
and it was talking about how you can like whatever your plays are, screen record the price action, like whatever that day is, because it talks about like repetition is what people need, but it takes so long to get repetition when you're just trading live price action. So it's talking about like recording your screen and then like just watching the play over and over and over, and then when it's developing, you'll be able to spot it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that's why the replay feature is such a game changer. If they want the low here, there it goes. Apple's taking a piss here. Watch for volume and continuation. They need to get below this previous day low. If not, remember, we're still just balancing. I know it seems like a lot because of how far away the high is, right? We're 40 points lower now. But the volatility's kicked in, so we kind of expect bigger ranges. Now I wish I would have held that short. Tesla came back hard today. Almost back down to its open. About Netflix. Netflix coming back down pretty decently. Pretty much everything's trying to flip red except Tesla and Netflix are the only thing really holding green. Even Meta flipped red. Big time. And Meta was up pretty good.
That thin spot right below A, where they swept the book right there. I'd like to see if we stay below that, that gives us a good indication that when D opens up, we might have singles.
Yep.
Continuation to the downside if that can hold.
And 8 minutes until D period opens up too. If they made a deal, we won't have to short everything. Remember, one time framing down for 3 days in a row. So a break of this low would confirm a fourth day, and it would confirm the entrance of an other time frame trader right at the spot where we saw buyers step off yesterday. So we would say selling tail, buyers couldn't get anything going, re-entrance of a seller today on a selling tail on the high. We're inside balance here still, though, so we still need to remain cautious, not shorting the low. I mean, the market just looks like caca. Not looking good. But look at the tick. Look at the tick here. It got all the way below 1,000. We're still on the low, and it's almost back above 0. And the breath is not really supporting a trend downside day. Right? Not saying that it can't lift up, but we can see if we pull over our handy dandy. Let me just scooch this over. Our handy dandy sectors here, we can see technology really is what's beating the market down. Healthcare is pretty much just chilling. Consumer discretionary is kind of hanging out. Financials just hanging out. Communications came down quite a bit. Industrials coming down a little bit. Staples really kind of flat. Energy kind of flat. Yeah, open down but flat. Utilities kind of flat. Materials kind of flat. Real estate going down but doesn't really matter. And we're seeing the VIX kind of kick up here a little bit. But, the big driver here is the weighted sector tech.
Do you see how far the Ethereum has dropped? Down 9% on the day.
Jesus.
Good.
Ethereum's gonna come down all the way to where I fucking bought it at. Somebody annoying. What's the whole deal with this merger thing? Like, I mean, I'm not a huge, uh, understander of crypto talk.
They're switching the network from proof of work, which is like Bitcoin mining and things like that, to proof of stake like Cardano, for electricity, you know, to be more eco-friendly. And I'm sure there's some other reasons, but that's a big reason of it. So it's how the network is proving itself and moving stuff.
And that's just apparently not good, or is it just more of the market just, you know, following along?
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be more eco-friendly. What's one of the biggest things that people hit Bitcoin for is that you need to use electricity for it. So in theory, but you know, we're in crypto winter right now. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself as I add to my HODL month to month.
So there goes the low. So 12 contracts on that low, or one tick below the previous day's low, or 2 ticks below the previous day's low. Catching a little bit of a bounce here. We got 50 seconds until D period opens up. But we've got singles. Here comes D period. So let's give D period a chance to work itself out and see if it wants to close singles or see if it gets back into this weak spot. And you're going to need buyers to kind of step up to fill this level up here. It went from POW to POS. Biden should be on soon talking about the what's it called? The railroad stuff. Chip makers are getting the smack today too. Apple's getting just hammered here. It's down to 155. I'm gonna hide the tick real quick. Yeah, so this is coming down. This is a daily chart on Apple, but we're coming down into this previous excess low. That kind of gives an opportunity for a bounce here on Apple. Apple's been beat up pretty bad here recently. Let me see what we got going. The Dow's not getting beat up as bad here. Take a look at this. Right, here's the Dow. Right, here's the low from the Dow this morning, and we're below the open, but not as weak as the ES is, right? And here's the previous couple days range, not even close to it. So that's a risk off look. A lot of industrials, and you could even pull up here or here. I'll pull up the heat map. Here's the Dow Jones. You can kind of see like Apple, Microsoft, but a lot of healthcare and a lot of consumer staples that are big. Walmart, Procter Gamble, Coca-Cola. So healthcare really kind of holding the Dow up here. Like I said, this breath isn't really indicating to us that it wants to trend lower, which is kind of holding me cautious off getting short down here. A little bit of volume moving down here. You can kind of see like, really kind of dies off there. We get that liquidation. Volume moves in. So this will be our line here. Buyers need to get above here. convince us, and then really they're going to target this level here, but terrible start. Watch how this fills. If this doesn't fill, and they just trade right over. But we are seeing some volume step up there. They're going to target this weak spot here. We start to bounce here. I'm long in Bitcoin. Let's watch that 19. So back below this level, this 34 half level seems to be kind of the make or break point. That buyers need to get above and hold, and if they're unable to hold that, then we're probably going to try to press back down. They are trying to fill it in here, though. So offers still sitting this 34.75, 34.50 level. So far, the sellers are holding. Just no follow through here, and we can see, like, I mean, you're starting to see the taper start to begin, but we are seeing these kind of volume nodules start to form a little bit lower, which kind of makes me think that sellers are stepping down. 30.11. There it goes. Watch that 28 half level here, or 29, previous low. Can't get back above that. Target that balance low. This 9.7 low, 9.1 low is the balance low, and then we have one more low after that, which was that look below and fail down at the 39.02 quarter. Shorts covering a bit here. Some short-term traders look like they're scalping this low here and buying the 27 back. Oil's down 4% right now. Gold's down 2%. Nasdaq's down 1.7. ES is down almost 1%. Dow is down only 0.25. Apple's almost down 2%, AMD's down 3%, Amazon down 1%, Google down 2%, Microsoft down 2.5%. Talked about that pre-market, how it looked a lot weaker than everything else. Meta 1%, Nvidia 2%, Netflix still up 3.24%, Tesla's still up. No, Tesla just went red. Tesla just went red. Still above that 300 level, but if Tesla starts to get below this 300 level, we'd start to see slippage. So we've got about 17 minutes until E period opens up. And the E period, if it does open up lower, will give us 3 TPOs lower. So we saw value form here, 3 TPOs, and then we'd be seeing value move lower. We just want to see it accompanied by volume. We see a little bit of volume here, but we'd like to see a little bit more volume come down. We've got more time here, so that makes sense, but we would like to see if we're going to get continuation to the low. We need to see volume coming back down. If the market gets back up inside this range, that'll kind of give you an indication on how weak the selling is. Apple's still holding its low here. So another weak spot formed here just above that 28, right? So like I said, I think if it can't get back above that 28.5, 29 level, then it's just, it's just kind of failing. And the Nasdaq's really kind of trying to suck this thing down. Tech is just getting hammered. Healthcare still is just kind of hanging out. Consumer discretionary is lower, but not by much. I wonder if we can get a percentage change thing for the. They held the NVIDIA puts through that. I've been a tough hold. Oh, I guess we could. I don't know if that. If there's the raid on BTC, it either gets a good reaction here or I'm fucking off and I'm going to the gym. Yeah, I agree, Roach. I think that we could get a little bounce from here. If they can get over this 29 level, I think it'll show how weak these shorts are. And you could see like a little tapering here and then goes. We've still got, 12 minutes. Sellers still have a chance here. But I think the longer time they fail to break that balance low, it's kind of like, okay, we look down towards the low of balance and that responsive buyer is down there again. Scooped up some apple calls right at the perfect time. 6%. Huge bounce. Yeah, I think this is where if we hit that 19,725, I think we'll start to see even more shorts start to cover. $36.5. Yeah. Oh, Biden's live now. Let's see if we can find him.
We have been receiving a lot of feedback from
This is a win for tens of thousands of rail workers and for their dignity and the dignity of their work. It's a recognition of that. During these early, dark, uncertain days of the pandemic, they showed up so every American could keep going. They worked tirelessly through the pandemic to ensure that families and communities got the deliveries they needed during these difficult
Can you guys hear
few
him?
years. And because of the labor agreement, those rail workers will get better pay, a
I hear.
24% wage increase over the next 5 years, improved working conditions, peace of mind around their health care by capping the cost that workers will have to pay. And it's about the right to go to a doctor or stay healthy and make sure you're able to have the care you can afford. It's all part of this agreement. They earned and deserve these benefits. And this is a great deal for both sides, in my view. The agreement is also a victory for railway companies. And I want to thank the lead negotiators from the National Railway Labor Conference and our major rail companies. These companies also played a critical role in keeping America moving during the pandemic, and that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. With this agreement, railroad companies will be able to retain and recruit workers. They'll be able to continue to operate effectively as a vital piece of our economy. They're really the backbone of the economy. I have this visual image of rails being the backbone. I mean, literally, the backbone of the economy. So I thank the unions and the rail companies for negotiating in good faith. They've been up for 20 straight hours through that negotiation and for sticking with it, especially over the last few days. In fact, the negotiators here today, I don't think they've been to bed yet, so I don't want to keep this very long, and they're having to stand besides. Together, we reached an agreement, you reached an agreement that will keep our critical rail system working and avoid disruptions of our economy. And I'm grateful for the members of the administration who worked tirelessly on both sides to help get this done. I especially want to thank Labor Secretary Marty Walsh, a card-carrying union member and the first union labor secretary in decades. His tireless
Yeah, Thomas,
nonstop
who knows what the deal is.
This agreement is validation what I've always believed. Unions and management can work together.
Bingos are getting closed
For
here.
the benefit of everyone. They're traveling now, a number of them up, but I want to thank Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg and Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, who were deeply involved, along with, I want to thank Deputy Labor Secretary Julie Sue, Director of the National Economic Council Brian Deese, and the Deputy National Director of Labor Celeste Drake for this commitment and hard work. To the American people, this agreement can avert the significant damage that any shutdown would have brought. Our nation's rail system is the backbone of our supply chain. Everything you rely on, and it's hard to realize this, from everything from clean water to food to gas to everyday, liquefied natural gas, to everything, every good that you need seems to end up on a rail getting delivered to where it needs to go. With unemployment still near record lows and signs of progress in lowering costs,
I'm not in a trade.
this agreement allows us to continue to rebuild a better America with an economy that truly works for working people and their families. Today is a win, and I mean it sincerely, a win for America. So I want to thank you all for getting this done, both business and labor. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and may God protect our troops. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Mr. President, when will the railway system come back online?
Mr. President, reaction to migrants being sent to Martha's Vineyard and DC, sir?
Mr. President, grocery prices are up over 13%. What do you tell struggling Americans?
Rail's moving, it's not going to go up.
The migrants, are you confident in the situation?
Mike.
You heard him. As long as the rails are moving, groceries aren't going up. So we're paying fucking $3.50 for a cart of eggs. Yeah, he's a Catholic. Yeah. Yeah, I like to stir up shit when it comes to stuff like that. I wanted to post. There's a lot of religious people and a lot of, being from California, a lot of like anti-religious people. And when that whole abortion thing was going on, I wanted to post like, you know, I see a lot of fat ass people protesting abortion. You know, You know, gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. I'm just saying. Just seems kind of like picking and choosing your battles, right? If you're gonna live the light and live in the light of the Lord, that shouldn't be something that you do. You also shouldn't judge other people. You know, crazy, crazy world. You're a true libertarian. Did you vote for what was her name? Joe, what's her name? Something Joe. I know Jared was telling me about it. The key here really is gonna see we're back below that low. We did get some volume below, but no follow through here, not yet. To get confirmation though, we need to get above that mechanical C high. If we can't get above that mechanical C high, it's going to be a tough go. And you can see, I mean, the volume right here is extremely thin comparatively to the rest of the profile. I don't think it makes you a bad citizen. A lot of people don't. Got 30 seconds until E period opens up and we get that European close here. So yeah, that's true, bro. Keep the crypto section of Discord. Let me look. Oh, excuse me. You're looking to long right there, right? All right, E period opens up. See if we're gonna get a cessation of one time framing here. I mean, one tick is not enough to convince me, especially with this 1508 here just sitting. I wouldn't call it being greedy on the entry. I'd call it being patient. Right? And if the trade doesn't come to you, then it doesn't come to you. You know what I mean? So back to that previous low. All right, Peter. Have a good day, man. See you later. Now we get back to that E period, which is where everyone signs out and goes to lunch. Europe closes. New York goes to lunch. Fearlessly, like a man. No, kind of. I mean, this is an interesting spot here. We're unable to, develop value below yesterday's low, or that 913 low, excuse me. And if it comes back up, you start to see it give a little bit of that look with this 4 TPOs, and so we're kind of stuck right here. But still this level here where this 1508's at 43 half ish is going to be the kind of the key, really. Buyers need to get above that level to convince us to get long here. You can see a pretty big bounce on Bitcoin. Apple's cooling off here a little bit. Okay. And Bitcoin broke that level that we were tracking. We were looking at this level right here at that 19,719, and it's popped above, but coming back, getting sold kind of right off the open of this previous bar. So it looks like it might want to try some more upside. That's the rule. Pretty responsive buying right there. You see that jump. Let's see if it gets back above the previous low. It looks like mechanical selling off of this previous low at 38 half. they're able to break that 44, it should take us up to the 50, which is like right where the VWAP's sitting, 52. And for 50 is the half back. So probably that would be the kind of the target on the break of this E high. If they're able to break it and get some steam rolling, that's kind of where they would target, I think. Yeah, like I said, Dan, there's no need to trade, right? You don't have to trade. You're up $1,000 for the week, right? That's a good week. You don't gotta force it. If the trade doesn't come to you, I mean, I don't know how many times I plan to trade and it just doesn't happen. I just sit here at the computer all day like a fucking idiot. You want $1 million a week? No trade is better than a dumb trade. 100%, TJ. I 100% agree with that. A lot of 5-minute closes. I don't really check the 5-minute charts. You're looking at BTC though. Yeah. Well, guys, I think this is pretty much where we can just wrap it up. The market's not really doing shit, and we're getting kind of a double distribution look. I know we got two TPOs in the middle, and we're seeing, you know, kind of a distribution here. Like I said, I think it really is going to be key. This level here, this 30 or 43.50, a break of that 43.50 should give us a retest of this upper distribution, and then look for acceptance or rejection. Rejection of this upper distribution definitely puts the low in order. Acceptance of this upper distribution should break this mechanical C high sitting right here, right below the previous day's half back, and then you know, you probably have a decent amount of shorts to unwind after that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to make some lunch and kind of sit here and wait to see if this 34 or 43 half gets tested, and see what happens off the reaction. I really think that's going to be the key, and I probably won't trade until that happens, barring some other news or anything like that. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate it. I will have some fun golfing. I haven't golfed in like 5 years, so I'll probably be terrible. Probably shoot over 100, I'm sure. But I'll let you guys know how it goes. You guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. I appreciate all you guys tuning in, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the Discord. I'll be in the Discord for sure, but not on the stream. Have a good day, guys.